everyone, it is the Afro Avenger here with another album review, and today's album is Panda Bear Meets the Grim Reaper by Panda Bear. It was released January 9th of 2015. Some chart information, it peaked number 34 on the US Billboard 200, which is admittedly a little lower, but, number 3 on the US Billboard Digital Albums, and number 3 on the US Billboard Top Alternative Albums. It was released on the label Domino, and its singles were Mr. Noah and Boys Latin. So without further ado, let's get this started. In checking out some records from 2015, I came upon this little gem by electronic artist Noah Lennox, aka Panda Bear, who was actually a founder of the band Animal Collective, if you've ever heard of them. I was already getting more fond of the idea of electronic psychedelia after listening to Tame Impala's latest album, Currents, as well as checking out bands like MGMT and Kraftwerk. This album surprisingly was really quite good. I enjoyed many of the tracks in here, and I thought the idea of the album was really cool as well. The main idea of this album is accepting change and, as the title suggests, death, mainly accepting death. It's something that happens to everyone at some point, and while it may be a sad event, it's all a part of life, and it's something everyone must go through at one point or another, be it to them or to someone else. Some tracks like Tropic of Cancer refer to his father, who was indeed diagnosed with cancer years ago and subsequently died because of it. Another major theme of the album is rebirth, and how after some things die away, they are reborn anew, becoming beautiful once more. Tracks like Crosswords deals with Panda Bear's progression as an artist, and how critics and fans are nostalgic over his old work, while he feels like he's at an artistic peak in his life right now. It's a common theme with many artists whose fans prefer only their older stuff and totally neglect their newer artistic output. Of course, being an electronic artist, many of these songs contain an electro-pop/dance vibe to them. Tracks like the aforementioned Crossroads and Principe Real come to mind, as both tracks are much more focused on catchy beats and melodies, while several of the other tracks, such as The Tropic of Cancer and Lonely Wanderer, are much more focused on ambient sounds and slow-flowing melodies that are meant to be vibed to. In that sense, much of the album is quite varied, but it all stays within a nice, tight pocket. Each track feels like it belongs on the album. Every artist as of late seems to enjoy writing songs about death because it's such a curious and frightening idea. Many incorporate personal life events to kind of flesh out the stories on their albums. Panda Bear is no different, of course, using many metaphors and references to death throughout the album. In essence, he's putting himself against death, but at the same time he's trying to say that death is a common thing in life. The track Mr. Noah, which is probably a reference to his real name, uses something quite unique in which each verse and the hook represent 3 different animals respectively. This comes from when Panda Bear met with a mystic who told him he has 3 animal spirits within him, a wolf, a bear, and an eagle, and each verse kind of personifies the traits of those animals. It was certainly one of the highlights of the album and had some of the best metaphors out of all the tracks. This album, as you might suspect, is highly experimental with different sound effects and techniques implemented throughout each track. Tracks like Lonely Wanderer, which is one of the few tracks to use an acoustic instrument, the piano, is absolutely gorgeous, but every couple of seconds throughout the song there's an abrupt dissonant sound that breaks that lovely repeating piano line. It's so ominous and almost scary actually. It really boggles my mind as to why he would compose the song in this manner, but it's without a doubt a standout track on this album. If you haven't already guessed, the tracks Shadow of the Colossus and Lonely Wanderer are references to the classic PS2 game of the same name, Shadow of the Colossus, in which the main character is simply named Wanderer. Without spoiling too much, the point of the game is to go around a large environment killing these giants known as Colossi, in which after killing them all, your deceased lover will be brought back to life as promised by an unseen entity. These tracks could possibly be a kind of representation of the game, as the environments are absolutely stunning and gorgeous, but that beauty is suddenly broken once you begin fighting one of the giants, and in the end, killing them. Even the lyrics kind of make references to the actual game dialogue. One other very instrumentally different track is Tropic of Cancer, which has a repeating arpeggiated harp line that's actually a sample from the Nutcracker Suite. The song is so wispy and gentle, even though, as I already mentioned, it's talking about sickness and death. That's another interesting thing about this album. It takes death, something often thought of as being really dark and terrible, and adds something of a calm, gentle, acceptable nature to it, especially through tracks like this, in which it's just so gorgeous and relaxing to listen to. The melody, the harp, everything. The The track Boys Latin was a really trippy track with an even trippier music video. Definitely go check it out. It wasn't so much the beat or anything like that, or even the lyrics, it was the delivery. On the chorus of the track, Panda Bear decides to make his voice all choppy, so the lyrics are barely understandable, but he does it in a manner that makes the track so cool to listen to and experience. The final two tracks are somewhat linked. Selfish Gene talks about how in life we're going to fail and make mistakes, but when that happens, we just have to get back up again and strive on. The following track, Acid Wash, makes references to rebirth through the legendary phoenix, a mythical creature that would build its nest and eventually burn to ash or die, and through those ashes, a new phoenix will be born. It's linked in that when we fail, we just have to keep going on, i.e. when we die, we have to become reborn. Really cool stuff. I also have to give props to Sonic Boom, who actually produced this album along with Panda Bear, and both of them I think did a really good job with this album. Overall, this album was probably one of my favorites from 2015. It has a lot of really cool songs that are just great to vibe to and relax to, and some that are even good for dancing. I don't really have anything negative to say about this album, perhaps besides the track Selfish Gene, being a little lackluster instrumentally. It's just a repeating synth chord progression with various effects thrown in and feels incredibly empty compared to everything else on here. The album is a bit on the lengthy side at roughly 51 minutes, but it's worth every minute to listen to it in its entirety. My favorite tracks were Mr. Noah, Crosswords, Butcher Baker, Candlestick Maker, funny name, Boys Latin, Come to Your Senses, Tropic of Cancer, Lonely Wanderer, Princip Real, and Acid Wash. That's the majority of the album, so you can tell that I liked it a lot. I definitely recommend this album to anyone who's into psychedelic pop, electronic pop, dance pop, and dream pop. Well, that does it for this review. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching. And if you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe if you want to see more. And if there is a song or an album that you want to see reviewed, just leave a comment down below or check out my Facebook or my Twitter. The links are in the description. But I will see you all in the next video. Thank you again for watching. So long.